for 3 minutes, please.
Thanks, Chair. Governor, you, the former, your predecessor, David Dodge, and even the current Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland, all three of you, in your own ways, have said government spending increases demand above supply, which in other words, it fuels inflation. Since March of last year, you've had to raise the rates 10 times from 0.25 until to 5%, what we see today. That's an 1,800% increase. The IMF has also warned Canada's most at risk in the G7 for a mortgage default crisis. I wanted to know, is that something you're concerned about as well, the default crisis?
Well, look, our biggest concern, and we've been very clear on this, is that inflation is too high. Our biggest concern is that Canadians are struggling with affordability. It is creating anxiety. How are they going to pay their mortgage? How are they going to put food on the table? You've seen big increases in demand at food banks. It's got to stop.
Absolutely.
And you know, the way to do that is to get inflation down, and that's been our beacon, that's been our focus, and all our actions have been taken to towards that goal. With respect to financial stability issues, you know, we are fortunate in this country. We have a strong, well-regulated banking sector.
I just have 3 minutes. I appreciate the answer, and I agree with you on that inflation needs to come down. And according to, again, what you said about the government spending, adding more demand, in this environment where spending needs to be moderated and getting inflation down, what the government spending is doing is not helpful to you. What would be helpful to you looking at the government today in order for us to avoid this mortgage default crisis?
Well, you know, the governors don't usually give the government advice on what to do with fiscal policy.
But you did say the government spending is making it not helpful to you.
Yeah.
So
I think
in that
for
context,
all levels of government, looking forward, I think given that inflation continues to be above its target, I think more focus by governments on the spending, the inflationary consequences of their spending decisions would be helpful, and more focus on government policies that add to supply and not only to demand.
That would help us avoid the mortgage default crisis.
Well, that'll help us get inflation down, and when inflation comes down, interest rates can come down, and that will
help relieve
some of the risks there as well.
Thank you.